So much stuff. Next, let's skip timing belts and chains, and let's just go into temporarily bearings and maybe collars and shafts. Let's go into shafts first. So for shafts, the most common used type of shaft in the goBuilda ecosystem is the Rex shaft. So for specifically the 8mm Rex shaft. So there's aluminum and steel. It doesn't matter. Just go with aluminum. It's lighter. Doesn't make a difference. Yeah. So there's a 12mm Rex. We do not use that. Do not use that. Do not order this. We do not use this ever. We use this one, the 8mm one. So you can choose the length, obviously, and they're just boring things. So they're 8mm. They're like 8mm corner to corner, or i.e. its outer diameter, but it's 7mm flat to flat. So it's used the most extensively. So to support bearings, to support these shafts, we use bearings, in which we use these flange bearings the most. Essentially, you can just chug them onto a piece of goBuilda channel, and they'll stick there, and you can actually maybe screw them in with a couple of screws. So these are the ones we use. So they look like this. So you see 7mm flat to flat, and then you plug the thing in, and the inner diameter is 14mm. Keep track of this 14mm, and the outer diameter is 15mm. So as you can see, it fits in the standard goBuilda channel. So the center hole of all goBuilda channels is 14mm. So you can basically just plug it in, and then it's not going to fall out because there's a flange there. But like, it's not going to fall out of one direction. It's going to fall out of the other direction. So you need to just restrict one direction, and then you're fine. But remember, you have to restrict one direction. Next, let's go to collars. Well, for collars, it's essentially the same deal. You just use it to restrict the movement of something. For instance, to just like not let the shaft fall out, slide along this bearing and fall out. Very simple. And couplers, you know what it does. It basically couples two shafts together. For hubs, there's only one hub you're ever going to use almost, which is sonic hubs. Hyper hubs maybe work, but you just use sonic hubs. They're just most simple. Just use them. Just always just get the 8mm Rex bore one that's compatible with our shaft, essentially. Sometimes you might use these through-hole ones, but it's just mostly the Rex the normal Rex bore one. So it just fits in the shaft, and it's like a 16 by 16 pattern that fits in the goBuilda ecosystem. And you can use it to attach stuff like gears and pulleys and whatnot. Very fun. Next, what's important? Time belts and pulleys. So we don't use chains a lot because they're not that efficient. Time belts and pulleys are efficient. So as you can see, there are two types. There's 2mm GT2 and 5mm HTD5. So as you can see, the tooth on here are a lot larger than the tooth on here, which means the GT2 belts are very good for high-speed applications like spinning a shooter at 6,000 RPM. But because its tooth are smaller, it can slip easily. So if you want to use it for high torque applications, it's going to slip and it's going to be horrible. So in that situation, you use the HD5 belt. So it's not going to slip, obviously, because its tooth are enormous compared to the ones of GT2 teeth, but it's a bit less efficient because it's also larger. So let's go maybe review a bit of the channel and the goBuilda ecosystem. So as you can see, the goBuilda ecosystem is made out of 16 by 16, 8 by 8 increments. So as you can see, there's a grid here. So each hole is 8mm from each other, like this. And essentially, the center part is 14mm here. And then you can see how it's 16 by 16mm, but still there is a bit of extrusion part here, so which actually fits in 24 by 24 pattern 2, but you usually just don't use a 24 by 24, you just use a 16 by 16. There's no difference, so just use the 16 by 16. Okay, so I think this is basically almost it. There are obviously a lot more parts that you can use, but essentially when you want to know how to use something, you just click onto the most obvious part that you're going to use. Like for example, I want to make a drivetrain out of mechanical wheels, so all you just do is, well, click on the mechanical wheel set. Well, these wheels. So how do you assemble something? Well, look at this. Look at the description here. What this does. Okay. Look at how the dimensions of this. What it looks like. Um, how to lay it out. So you can see mechanical wheels should be in this X direction. We can go over this a bit later. There's a description of how mechanical wheels work. And obviously, how to just use mechanical wheels. For example, in this example of using bevel gears to drive it, it just gives you the layout of every single place where you want the screws to go, where you want to place shims, where you want to place spacers, where you want to place bearings, where you want to place the bevel gears, where you want to place the shafts, where you want to place the wheel, just everything that you're going to need to know. And yeah, just kind of follow that and cat and on shape. We'll be going over that in our next tutorial of how to make this example. So that's it. Thank you, everybody, and let's watch the next video if you guys have the time. And thank you very